Long gone are the days when farm theft in Jamaica was nothing more than a man stealing a bag full of akis or a single chicken or goat in a moment of simple desperation or greed.
Today's criminals build fortunes out of robbing farmers' livelihood for months or years on end, and if it comes to it, even taking their lives. I'm Leroy Hall.
And I am Deidre Dixon. Tonight we examine Praedial larceny, the farmer's problem, our problem, on CS311.
Crime Stop Jamaica and National Bakery, in association with TVJ and our sponsors, Guardsman, Home and Things, Careers Jamaica, Grace Kennedy, Progressive Grocers and Musson Foundation, present CS311 with Deidre Dixon and Leroy Hall.
Recently, when the police arrested a driver traveling with 23 stolen goats as passengers, it was hard not to laugh at the news report.
But behind this funny story is the tragic reality of a crime that is endangering the very food that we eat. How serious is it? Our first guest tells us more.
Praedial larceny is prevalent everywhere, and it's a cry from almost every farmer in Jamaica right now. And when we speak of Praedial larceny, I just want our viewers and our listeners to get one thing clear, that whenever you have an issue that you take the report to the station, please ensure that you tell the police specifically what took place, that the police can record whatever you are saying in order for them to get their case file done in the most effective way for a conviction in court. I say this against the background that Praedial larceny is a felony. In the Larceny Act, Section 13, which speaks specifically to picking the fruit, rooting up the crops, it doesn't speak to the theft of animals. It doesn't speak to the theft of farm equipment nor farm tools. It speaks specifically about crops, and they have to be in a growing stage. And why I'm saying this, if it is that pumpkins are stolen from your farm and you saw the person in the act, that is Praedial larceny. However, if you see the person moving a bag of pumpkins from your farm, that is a different offense. When the police catch that person out there, it is unlawful possession of property. So you have to make that distinction. If they steal an animal, it's larceny of cattle, larceny of whatever animal is stolen. If they steal the property, for example, a machete or a fork or a pickaxe, that's simple larceny. So it is totally different in terms of the crime that has been committed. Back to the point in terms of Praedial larceny, it's very prevalent everywhere. Persons are crying out, whether the small farmers, the medium farmers, or the large farmers, everyone is crying out. And we can say that Praedial larceny is very prevalent. However, what we as police officers are doing is to ensure that we empower our citizens, empower all the players within the industry, empower ourselves as police officers as to the crimes that have been committed and how we treat with the reports. And we are out there in our numbers, in the various divisions, conducting our patrols, conducting our operations, doing our snap raids, and targeting the end users. There are a myriad of strategies that we employ island-wide because of culture. What will happen in Clarendon as it relates to crime, it's a different thing in St. Elizabeth, a different thing in Portland, and it's a different thing in Westmoreland. Say, for example, in Clarendon, there's a particular gang that has been dismantled. Several members are behind bars now awaiting trial. We would have seen where all of these measures are working, and these criminals will stop at nothing. If you're in their way, they will murder you. They have high-powered rifles, and they will stop at nothing to get the produce that they need to go and trade. Whatever it is that they need to do, they will do it. They will burn their house, they will burn the farm property, they will murder persons, and if a female is there, they will rape. And if a male is there, that will also take place. These persons are criminals, they are ardent criminals, and this is organized crime. They want the returns from the sales of the produce to fund their gangs. So it is organized crime. And additionally, when farmers are feeling the effect, the negative effect of Praedial larceny, they in turn take it on themselves to carry out any act of reprisal because they are feeling it. And some farmers are feeling that the authorities are not doing enough. So if it is that they meet the perpetrators, they will take their actions also. Some persons will classify it as jungle justice or mob killing. Praedial larceny is linked to just about every other serious crime in Jamaica right now.
Thank you. We know that your team will continue to make a difference.
You know, life is becoming so complex in this society that sometimes it's hard to separate truth from lies, the innocent from the guilty.
But one thing is plain to see. Jamaica is sacrificing more and more young people to the crime epidemic. For example, our next featured crime.
Friday, June 19, 2017, at about 6:30 p.m. Money Musk Housing Scheme, Clarendon, on Urchin Way. "18-year-old Gary Chaplin and 21-year-old Oscar Williamson were walking in the community when suddenly they were pounced upon by two armed men who immediately opened fire. The victims ran, but there was no escaping the hail of bullets. Gary Chaplin and Oscar Williamson received gunshot wounds to the head, torso and limbs. Both young men died on the spot. The murderers escaped in a waiting vehicle.
Life is a cheap commodity until death hits close to home.
When I get the call, I couldn't believe when her girlfriend called me and tell me saying get shot and he run. I couldn't believe because I not look about something and it come like it never hit me. That time, I still do what I do the same way. And my little daughter where him follow. I follow him. Say, Mommy, come and look like say serious, come and we run. That time it hit me when me run from over Raymond's a come over. I say look like something serious because I see crowd and so on. And my daughter jump on him same time and I cry same time and I drop and I cry. But nobody now want to come out and talk nothing. Because from last year it happened and I don't think nobody talk. Then we know and not talk. We kind of sometimes we kind of remember him and so on and then forth there. So like anybody who know would make a report to the police or Crime Stop that this will be solved.
Who is behind this crime? Who has the answer? Is it you? Maybe it's time to make that call.
Call Crime Stop 311.
Praedial larceny is a $6 billion industry. But convinced that their loss is not taken seriously, only 45% of victims report the crime.
So the criminals are becoming more daring and ruthless. The time to face them head-on is now. Farmers, here are some steps that you should consider.
Did you know? Brought to you by Carreras Jamaica.
When Praedial thieves are on the prowl, they strike without warning and without mercy. How can we prepare? It's your duty to prepare proper records. Support the receipt book system. Make sure your animals have unique identification marks, tattoos, tags, or other markings so that they can be easily identified when stolen or slaughtered. Simple motion sensors, tripwires, sensor lights, panic buttons, and cowbells are useful tools to protect life and property. More complex security cameras, video surveillance and monitoring systems are ideal for larger operations. And of course, vicious dogs will make possible intruders think twice. But no gadget can beat people power. Network, share information, and keep an eye out for strangers roaming the community. Butchers, you are required by law to give the police at least 12 hours notice prior to slaughtering animals. And consumers can assist by purchasing meat only from reputable establishments and, if necessary, by making sure meat has been checked and stamped by the public health inspector. Don't be caught off guard. When Praedial thieves come calling, it takes a community to stop them. Community support can make a difference in fighting crime and in helping to locate those who go missing. Spare us a few moments to show you this week's missing people. Have you spotted them?
Missing, brought to you by Progressive Grocers. 60-year-old Rupert Cornwall, otherwise called Shortman, a mason of site Falmouth, Trelawney, has been missing since Saturday, March 18, 2017. He is of brown complexion, slim build, and is about 170 centimeters or 5 feet 7 inches tall. Mr. Cornwall was last seen at about 12:30 p.m. at Tasty in Falmouth. All efforts to contact him have proven futile. 29-year-old Dennis Wallace of Stratford Avenue, Kingston 10, has been missing since Thursday, October 26, 2017. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and 168 centimeters or 5 feet 6 inches tall. Mr. Wallace was last seen at home at about 10 a.m., dressed in a white t-shirt and blue shorts. He has not been seen or heard from since. 67-year-old Iris Miller of Sokaba Gardens, Old Harbour in St. Catherine, has been missing since Sunday, May 24, 2016. She is of dark complexion, medium build, and is about 173 centimeters or 5 feet 8 inches tall. Iris Miller was last seen at about 1 p.m. at home, dressed in a pink blouse, black skirt, and a pair of yellow slippers. 83-year-old Edwin Duhaney of Lakes Penn, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, has been missing since Thursday, January 5, 2017. He is of brown complexion and slim build. Mr. Duhaney was last seen in Central Village at about 8:30 a.m. that morning. He was wearing a yellow shirt and khaki pants.
Imagine the heartbreak of enduring the struggles of farming, only to hand over your profit for others to enjoy a life of luxury. This is a journey that our next guest knows only too well.
We are farming watermelon, cantaloupes, honeydews, cucumbers and pumpkins, and we farm that right through the year. So when there is a glut in the market, there's any amount of goods available. But then when there's the time changing, like when there's scarce situation of the fruits and vegetables, at that time there's a higher demand. And at that time is mainly the time when the thieves are striking. So for the farmers, basically now we have to know that at that time we have to watch our field and be prepared. So in other words, now the end consumer also have to start ask questions where the goods are coming from. We have suffered from farm theft really in a large amount of nearly millions of dollars. When you consistently farm, you have your produce and you carry it to the market, then at the same time now when a person comes and steals your produce, he actually is the biggest threat because he can offer our produce for half the price. We are actually inviting all our customers who are buying from us to really see where the goods are coming from. So know the source of your produce, what you are buying. We have our staff who are actually involved in helping us here to farm because we are all together one team. We have for them some special incentive in order when the time comes that they are watching our fields and through that now getting motivated to help us of keeping the thieves away. Also the community watch programs. We have neighbors in the area and when there is an unknown vehicle coming in our roads and we ask them who is this person, who is buying the goods from, people have to work together as a team. We don't hide thieves in our area. You cherish your field, you cherish your animal, your garden, whatever, and then when the goods are being ready to be reaped, then you're being affected by a thief or by a farm theft. It's just so frustrating, and I feel for every farmer actually how hard it is for them to continue farming. First of all, we have to start to endorse contract farming. Contract farming meaning traceability. The person who buys from the farmer needs to know where the goods are coming from. You have to know where your coconut water coming from, right? You have to know where your curry goat is coming from. So it needs to be a long-term partnership which is mutual beneficial between the farmer and the consumer or the buyer. The second thing now, we need to get a farm insurance. Farm insurance meaning agricultural insurance which can cover theft, it can cover against rainfall or any kind of natural disaster. So we're lobbying also for agricultural insurance. And the third thing, we have to motivate young people to go into agriculture, because our young people need to be motivated to see a way how to do farming. But if they only hear always the thieving story, the bad stories, then how would you want to become a farmer if you don't see a reason? And you know, as much as it frustrates me hearing all the stories all over the country as national champion farmer, we cannot give the thieves the overhand of our beautiful country and of our agricultural sector in Jamaica. And we will not allow it to happen. And I hope with the work together with the Praedial Larceny Prevention Unit, we will be able to fix that challenge, as well as with the private sector. And if we don't come together to fix that issue, our agricultural sector will not be able to grow in the long term. And then therefore now our country cannot grow, because without farmers, there is no future.
The moment we accept robbery, rape, extortion, and murder as just a routine part of life, that is the day we begin to lose the battle.
Someone out there knows the whereabouts of the following criminals. Let's get them off the streets.
O'Shane Smith, otherwise called Piggy, of Dempsher Pen, Spanish Town, is wanted in connection to a charge of carnal abuse, sexual intercourse with a person under 16 years old, committed between April and May of 2017 in his own community at Dempsher Pen. Garfield Wright, 27 years old, otherwise called Foodie, of Soho District, St. Thomas, is wanted in connection to a charge of shooting and wounding with intent and illegal possession of a firearm. The incident took place in Whitehall District, St. Thomas, on Saturday, May 23, 2015. Waldane Baker, an ex-security guard, is wanted in connection to a charge of aggravated assault and wounding with intent, committed on Queens Drive, Morant Bay, on Thursday, May 2, 2015. Jacob Brown, 45 years old, of Georgia District, Trinityville, St. Thomas, is wanted in connection to the rape of a 12-year-old child, committed at about 1 p.m. on Sunday, May 1, 2016, in Trinityville, St. Thomas.
Next up, watch that scam.
Poke, poke, poke. Come get your pretty poke over here. Good for your barbecue or your Sunday dinner. When your family tastes this your poke, yeah, them going to lick them 10 finger and say, mwah, 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 mwah. Mommy, this your poke, yeah, are the winner. Nice lady. Any poke for you? How much is it per pound? Under $300. Under 3 bills, ma'am. 300? That's very cheap. And it fresh too, you know, ma'am. Just butchered. How much would you like? 5, 10? Let me see. 15 oh, it looks pound. Really nice. Let me have 5. Nice. But where is the public health stamp on this meat? I don't see one anywhere. Did you buy this meat from a registered butcher? Are you a farmer? I don't understand how you have this meat. Let me put it another way. Did you purchase this meat any at all? You know that this is illegal. I am going to call the police. You should be locked up. You have stolen this meat, I'm sure of it. But don't you run away. Come back here. Before you purchase meat from vendors, marketplace or meat shop, make sure that they are registered and that the meat has a public health stamp. This will tell you that it's been legally purchased and butchered. Praedial larceny cost farmers billions of dollars each year. Don't contribute to this illicit business. Be wise. Don't be scammed.
Empower yourself. Be safe with our following safety tips.
Safety Tips, sponsored by Guardsman.
Farmers can prevent Praedial larceny in so many ways. For example, 1, access control. We urge our farmers to reduce access to your property, limit the amount of entrances to your property, have one main gate, especially the large farmers. The second point is debushing. A lot of farmers have this heavy vegetation. This heavy vegetation serves as a hiding place for the criminals. And even the items that they steal, they hide it in the heavy vegetation. If it is that you have this heavy vegetation around your farm and you do not have any need for it, get rid of it. and some persons don't literally speak to their neighbors. This heavy bush becomes a barrier between your farmer A and farmer B. We are saying get rid of those bush and have a communication. Lighting. Lighting is also important, especially when you have a large farmhouse. Erect all the different lightings that you can possibly afford to erect. Use dusk-to-dawn lights. They come on in the dark and they go off in the light. Another point is to rotate your workers. Do not allow one worker to be in one position for weeks, for months, for years. Those persons, if they have evil intentions, they will utilize those opportunities to steal from you. Speak to your local police. Have them check the background of these persons that you intend to employ. You may very well put yourself at risk if you employ a person that you do not know. Additionally, we ask our farmers not to shield criminals. We know farmers who beg for criminals whenever they are caught. We are saying that if it is not you today, it will be you tomorrow. Do not shield the criminals. Another point I could make is persons are getting up in age. These criminals will watch you and they will prey on you. What we are simply saying is that still conduct your farming. Look at what space you have in your immediate surrounding and reduce your activities out there. We are not saying that you are to give up farming, but look at your options in terms of alternate farming practices. We are asking farmers to be extremely careful and conduct business in a safe zone. Wherever that safe zone has been identified, utilize the space. Whether you tell persons to meet you at a particular point, go at a police station in front of, ask a JP to be that person to facilitate the transaction. Another point we could use in terms of mitigating farm theft is the use of dogs. A lot of persons go on their properties, they utilize the dogs. Dogs have a sense of security. They will move ahead of you. They will sense if there's a stranger on your property. But utilize the dogs as your company, as also your security. Use them up. We are saying to our farmers also, engage in the Farm Watch program. The Farm Watch program is very similar to the Neighborhood Watch program, where citizens look out for each other in collaboration with the police, with the local police and other persons of vested interest within the agricultural industry. The Farm Watch program tend to give persons a workable solution to the issues that are happening in their area. It gives you an opportunity of problem solving with the right persons at the table to discuss the matters as to what is happening in your area to ensure that you get on board and fix whatever problem that you have within your farming district.
Every day, stolen food makes its way onto tables across Jamaica. It may be uninspected or spoiled meat, unfit fruit, or produce still covered in pesticide. All of a sudden, the farmer's loss becomes our danger.
It's not just a matter for them, it's a matter for all of us. I'm Leroy Hall.
And I am Deidre Dixon. Together, we can stamp out crime. See you next week on CS311.